WiseGuyBets here with some NBA picks for today, 10/20/2021, second day of the NBA season. We have 11 games on the slate tonight. This is really the first big night. We only had 2 games last night, so basically everybody's playing tonight, or almost everybody, but we have 11 games on the slate. A lot of shiny objects out there, a lot of players that are cheap that shouldn't be cheap, in my opinion. So we're going to get right into it. The lineup I'm going to give you tonight is a lineup you can use in a GPP, guaranteed prize pool. And this is just one possible lineup you can use. I'm going to speak about the players that I like for tonight. So let's get started. At the point guard position, the most expensive player is Damian Lillard, coming off a huge year last year. The second most expensive player at point guard is Donovan Mitchell. You got Fox, the third, and Ja Morant, the fourth, and Russell for Minnesota, the fifth most expensive player at the point guard position. I think we can find a little value at this position at a lower price. And at the point guard position, I'm looking at Spencer Dinwiddie for Washington. He is a starting point guard for Washington this year. He could have played at the end of last year for the Nets, but they decided not to play him. But I think he's going to do well for Washington this year. He's in a pretty good spot tonight. Washington actually used their 4th preseason game as kind of a preview of what we're going to see during the season. In that game, he had 17 points. He shot 3 6-pointers, had 5 rebounds and 3 assists in kind of a tune-up game for the preseason. I think we will see numbers similar to that tonight. And at 4,900, I want to get Dinwiddie in my lineup. I think he's going to do well for Washington. I think Washington is going to be a team where you're going to see Dinwiddie and Bill just go out and get their numbers. You got Daniel Gafford, who's a center. If they use them wisely, they could probably win more games. But I think you'll see Dinwiddie and Bill go out and just try to get their numbers. So Dinwiddie is someone I'm going to use at the point guard position tonight. At shooting guard, we also have a lot of great choices. Again, Mitchell, Bill, Zach LaVine, Carlin Sexton, Booker. But to do well in GPP tournaments, you're going to have to find a player that his salary is low that is going to do well. And for me tonight, I think the 2-guard position is somewhere I can go low and get some value at the position. So I think I can pull a player that's 3,000. This is probably going to be my only non-starter in the lineup tonight, and that is going to be Bones Highland for Denver. Murray still out. They still have a lot of question at their 1 and 2 guard position. Bones Highland is a rookie, did very well in the preseason, and Coach Mike Malone has already confirmed that Highland would be part of the rotation coming off the bench. He's 6'3". He can play 1 or 2, and most importantly, he can guard 1 and 2. And even more important than that, he's willing to guard both 1 and 2. So probably can see around over 20 minutes from Bones Highland tonight. So he's definitely someone I want to get into my lineup tonight at the 2-guard position for $3,000. Let's look at the small forward position. At small forward, you got studs: Jaylen Brown, Ingram, Haywood, Barnes for Sacramento. But the person I'm looking at tonight at the small guard position is going to be a veteran who got traded to Chicago, and that is DeRozan. I want to get DeRozan in my lineup at 7,100. We're going to see how he's going to fit in with LaVine, how he's going to fit in with Ball. But I think he will get his touches, and I think he's going to give us tonight. He's projected to get, I think, over. Check that out. He's projected tonight over 25 fantasy points. So he is someone I want to get into my lineup tonight at the small forward position. So at power forward, I think here I will take someone who I know is going to in Boston. You basically got two players who are going to be doing the scoring as I see it right now, and that's Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Sabonis, of course, is going to be a great choice for anybody on any night, but I'm going to spend $400 less and get Jason Tatum in my lineup at the power forward position. At center, I think this is where you can get your most value tonight. You can choose any of the top: Joel Embiid, Jokic, Sabonis, Towns, Vukovic for Chicago, Randall, Gobert, Wood, even Valanciunas for New Orleans. But what the player that I'm going to select out of that group is going to be the Chicago center for 9,000. He has very high projection for the night, the third highest projection at this position, and I like him in my lineup. For $9,000, I think we can get max ceiling type performance out of him tonight. So at the other guard position, you of course, we've talked about Lillard, we talked about Mitchell, we talked about Bill, we talked about Fox, we talked about Morant. But at my guard position, I'm going to go with Tyrese Maxey for Philadelphia. He has a projection of getting 30 fantasy points for the night. I had the pleasure of watching this gentleman play in high school. He was a bucket then. He was a bucket at Kentucky. And the time he got on the court last year for Philadelphia, he was a bucket also. He's going to give you points, and he's becoming more of a rounded point guard going into year 2. I think you're going to see more out of him. Assist-wise, I think he's going to be a fantasy favorite after a couple weeks into the season. Tyrese Maxey is a stud, and for $4,000, he's going to give us 30 fantasy points tonight. He's someone I definitely want to get into my lineup tonight. At the other guard position, I'm telling you, he's going to surprise a lot of people. He's going to start in place of Ben Simmons. They will not miss Ben Simmons points-wise when it comes to Maxey. Of course, Ben Simmons is an elite defender and an elite playmaker. But I'm telling you, Maxey is going to make people not miss Simmons a lot. He's a bucket. He's a willing defender who can defend one or two position, and he's also going to make plays for you. So Tyrese Maxey is someone I definitely want to get into my lineup tonight. At the other guard position, at the other forward position, again, you have Sabonis available, Randall available. You got Brown available, who I think is going to have a huge night. But for the price of $7,700, I'm going to choose Brandon Ingram because they really don't have anything else down there to score except for the center position. And we got to see how everything else is going to work out at the other positions, at the guard, 2 guard, and the small forward position. I mean, Ingram is the guy down there right now. He is a man. He's going to have his chance to score, and for $7,700, I think he can give us 40 fantasy points for the night. I like him tonight in that position. So we have $4,900 left at the utility position. And with $4,900 left, we can go with McDaniels for Charlotte, Gafford for Washington, Diallo for Detroit. We can go with Osman for Cleveland, maybe even Adams for Memphis, or Hayes, who is projected to have a very good season for New Orleans. But I'm going to go with Daniel Gafford, who just signed an extension yesterday. And I think he is basically Chris Capella 2.0 from Chris Capella's earlier years in Houston. He's going to run the floor. He's going to do all the dirty work. He's going to run rim to rim. He's going to give you, everything he get is going to be, they're not going to run plays for him, but he's going to get offensive rebounds. He's going to finish. He's going to get defensive rebounds. I can see a double-double from him tonight. And for 4,900, I'm going to get him in my lineup. So to basically recap, at the point guard position, we got Spencer Dinwiddie for Washington. At shooting guard, we're going to go with Bones Highland for Denver. Basically, the only non-starter that I have in my lineup for tonight. We're going to go with DeRozan for Chicago. We're going to go with Tatum, who's a stud, and we should see stud numbers from. We're going to go with Vucevic for Chicago, who's a stud. We also should see stud numbers from. Maxey, I think it's going to really surprise a lot of people tonight and have a great night tonight. And I think he will be a fantasy darling just a couple weeks into the season. We're going to go with Ingram, who's a stud. We should see stud numbers from tonight. And we're going to go with Gafford for Washington. Again, he just signed a 2-year extension yesterday or the day before, but he's a double-double. He's a walking double-double, and he'll be good in this lineup for us tonight. So, hey, if my picks help you, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And until the next video, peace.